Hello, my wonderful friends. I'm so thrilled to see you all here today, and I promise we're about to dive into something truly exciting and useful together. Let's get started. Staying calm is true power. In a world where rudeness often feels like a weapon, the ability to stay calm under fire is your greatest strength. The YouTube video, "If a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy," dives deep into this concept, rooted in Stoic wisdom, emphasizing that losing your temper hands victory to the aggressor. When someone disrespects you, pushing your buttons, testing your patience, or expecting you to snap, they're playing a game. Their goal isn't just to annoy, it's to provoke an emotional outburst that proves they've gotten under your skin. But here's the secret. The moment you react with anger, you've lost. True power lies not in shouting back or matching their venom, but in maintaining unshakable composure and delivering a response so sharp and unexpected that it flips the script entirely. Imagine this. A rude coworker smirks and dismisses your idea in a meeting, or a family member jabs at your life choices with a condescending tone. The old you might have argued, defended yourself, or even raised your voice to prove a point. But that's exactly what they want. Your frustration fuels their sense of control. The Stoic approach, as highlighted in the video, teaches a different path. Instead of feeding their ego with a reaction, you stay calm, letting their words hang in the air like irrelevant noise. Then, with calculated precision, you hit back with something like, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." No yelling, no drama. Just a cool, collected statement that cuts deeper than any insult could. Suddenly, they're the ones scrambling, their power evaporating as they realize they've failed to rattle you. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. The video shares a personal story of the creator facing mockery from a friend about a passion project. Years ago, he might have listed reasons to justify his work, desperate for approval. But instead, he smiled and said, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." The friend, expecting a fight, was left speechless. That's the magic of staying calm. It disarms the rude person entirely. They thrive on your reaction, banking on your anger or insecurity to feel superior. When you deny them that, their game collapses. Why does this work? Because rudeness is a power play, not a genuine critique. People who disrespect you often aren't smarter or better. They're just louder, masking their own doubts with arrogance. By staying composed, you expose their weakness without breaking a sweat. The video underscores this with another gem. A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. It's a mindset shift. Your peace is yours to protect, not theirs to steal. So, the next time someone crosses you, don't take the bait. Stay calm. Deliver a sharp, Stoic-inspired line, and watch them regret ever trying. That's not just winning, it's transcending. 1. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it. In the YouTube video, "If a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy." One of the most powerful tools offered is the comeback. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it. This simple yet devastating line embodies Stoic wisdom, turning the tables on rude, arrogant, or judgmental people with effortless grace. It's not about attacking or escalating. It's about dismissing their words so completely that they're left powerless, their attempt to provoke you crumbling in an instant. The beauty of this response lies in its understated strength. Rude people often thrive on control, using disrespect to dominate a conversation or make you feel small. They expect you to argue, defend yourself, or get flustered, giving them the emotional reaction they crave. But when you calmly say, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it," you pull the rug out from under them. You're not denying their right to speak. You're just making it clear their words hold no sway over you. The video illustrates this with a story. The creator once shared a passion project with a friend, only to be met with a smug. That's a waste of time. Instead of justifying his efforts, he smiled and delivered the line. The friend, anticipating a debate, had nothing to say. His power vanished as he realized he'd been brushed off. This comeback works because it flips the dynamic. Rude individuals don't disrespect you to offer insight. They do it to feel superior, to dictate the narrative. By refusing to engage, you signal that their opinion isn't law, just noise you're free to tune out. The video emphasizes how frustrating this is for egotistical types. Nothing stings more than being ignored when they're trying to assert dominance. It's a subtle power move. Without raising your voice or losing your cool, you've stripped them of influence. The creator reflects on a past tendency to explain himself to critics, only to realize it was pointless with someone who'd never built anything meaningful. That shift to dismissal changed everything. When should you use it? The video suggests scenarios. When someone mocks your career path, that won't work. A toxic relative judges your choices, you should do it my way. Or a coworker belittles your ideas, that's dumb. In each case, a calm, you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it, shuts them down. It's versatile and universal, fitting any situation where someone's rudeness seeks to undermine you. The hard truth? Most critics aren't ahead of you, they're just loud. As the video puts it, a lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. This line isn't just a comeback, it's a declaration of independence. You don't need their validation, and they'll regret thinking you did. 2. If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke. The YouTube video, If a Rude Person Disrespects You, Say This to Make Them Regret Its Stoic Philosophy, introduces a brilliantly sharp comeback. If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke. This line is a masterstroke of Stoic-inspired wit, blending humor with a cutting edge that leaves rude people reeling. It's not just a quip, it's a calculated strike that exposes their lack of substance, while keeping you firmly in control, embodying the calm power central to the video's philosophy. What makes this response so effective? On the surface, it's playful, almost lighthearted, but beneath that lies a brutal truth. You're saying they've never contributed anything intelligent. Rude people often rely on volume and sarcasm to mask their emptiness, hoping to belittle you into submission. The video recounts a perfect example. The creator was once in a group chat when a loudmouth classmate, Ryan, interrupted with a smug, "Oh yeah, because you're such a genius, right?" Instead of taking the bait, he fired back, "Ryan, if I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke." The room erupted. One guy choked on his drink, another muttered, "Damn," and Ryan was left squirming, unable to respond. He'd expected a defensive reaction, but this line flipped the script, making him the punchline. The strength here is its subtlety. You're not calling them stupid outright. You're letting the implications sink in, which is far more humiliating. Rude folks thrive on getting a rise out of you, banking on your anger to fuel their ego. But this comeback denies them that satisfaction. If they argue back, they look dumber. If they stay quiet, they concede defeat. It's a checkmate move, as the video describes, because it traps them in their own game. The creator reflects on how loudness often hides a lack of depth. Ryan wasn't smart or successful, just noisy. Pointing that out with this line dismantled his facade instantly. Or should you wield it? The video suggests moments like when someone constantly interrupts with sarcastic jabs, a coworker acts superior without adding value, or a friend mocks you but offers nothing clever themselves. Picture a colleague dismissing your input with a snide, "Great idea, genius." A calm, "If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke," turns their arrogance into a liability. The brutal reality, as the video notes, is that these types rarely have anything worthwhile to say. They hide behind bravado because they're insecure. This response doesn't just shut them down, it exposes them. Rooted in stoic detachment, this line lets you rise above without breaking a sweat. You don't need to yell or fight. You just smile, drop the mic, and watch them crumble. They'll regret opening their mouth when they realize they've been outclassed by their own emptiness. 3. I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect. In the YouTube video, If a Rude Person Disrespects You, Say This to Make Them Regret Its Stoic Philosophy. The comeback, I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect, stands out as a powerful declaration of self-mastery. Rooted in Stoic principles, This line isn't just a retort. It's a refusal to play the game of those who feed on conflict and belittlement. It's about recognizing that some people aren't worth your energy, and with calm precision, it shuts them down while keeping your dignity intact. This response works because it calls out their behavior without sinking to their level. Rude individuals often don't seek discussion or resolution. They want to provoke, dominate, and feel superior. The video paints a vivid picture. A coworker named Jake, who loved interrupting meetings with condescending jabs, once cut off the creator mid-sentence with a snarky, "Yeah, because you're such an expert, right?" Instead of snapping back, he leaned back and said, "I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect." The room went silent. Jake fidgeted, caught off guard, unable to retort. He'd expected a fight, but this line stripped him of his leverage, and he never tried it again with the creator. Why is it so effective? It's a mirror held up to their actions. Disrespect isn't a strength, it's their crutch. These types turn every exchange into a battlefield, waiting for you to take the bait so they can escalate. By refusing to engage, you deny them the reaction they crave. The video explains that they're not after truth or progress. They just enjoy stirring the pot, often masking their insecurity with phrases like, "I'm just brutally honest." But when you say, "I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect," you're not insulting them, you're describing them. That's what stings. They're left to stew in the realization that you've seen through their act and they can't touch you. The video suggests using this in specific scenarios. When someone baits you into a fight, a coworker talks down to you, a family member belittles you under the guise of closeness, or a stranger provokes you for no reason. Imagine a friend sniping. You'll never pull that off, hoping to spark an argument. A steady, "I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect," ends it. They either back off or double down, proving your point. It's versatile and final, preserving your peace while forcing them to rethink their approach. This comeback embodies Stoic wisdom. Not every battle deserves your attention. The harsh truth, as the video notes, is that some argue just to win, not to solve anything. They get a twisted thrill from upsetting others. By walking away with this line, you show their words hold no power over you. They lose the moment they realize they can't drag you into their chaos, regretting their attempt as you rise above unscathed. For your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life. The YouTube video, "If a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy," presents the comeback. Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life, as a sobering wake-up call wrapped in Stoic calm. More than a mere retort, this line is a piercing observation that shifts the focus from their rudeness to its inevitable consequences. It's not about petty revenge. It's about exposing the self-destructive path they're on, leaving them to wrestle with the weight of their own behavior. This response cuts deep because it challenges the rude person's illusion of power. They often mistake arrogance for strength, believing their dismissive or condescending demeanor makes them untouchable. The video illustrates this with a coworker named Mark, who thrived on belittling others. During a meeting, he snapped at someone, "Maybe if you knew what you were talking about, we wouldn't be wasting time." The creator intervened with a steady, "Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life." The room froze. Mark smirked at first, but his confidence wavered as the meeting went on. Months later, when promotions came around, he was passed over, proof that his behavior was his own undoing. Why does this work? It's not an insult. It's a fact, and facts hit harder. Rude people assume they're winning by putting others down, but life doesn't reward those who alienate everyone around them. No one respects a jerk, no boss promotes a divisive loudmouth, and no meaningful relationships grow from constant disrespect. The video drives this home. Mark thought making others small made him big, but it only shrank his opportunities. When you say, "Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life," you're forcing them to see the bigger picture. Their behavior isn't just annoying, it's sabotaging their future. That realization lingers, gnawing at them long after the moment passes. The video suggests deploying this line in various contexts. A coworker's condescension, that's a terrible idea. A stranger's public rudeness, a family member's relentless put-downs, or a friend's toxic negativity. Imagine a relative sneering. You're still chasing that pointless dream? A calm, your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life, flips the script. They're left questioning their own bitterness. It's not about winning an argument. It's about planting a seed of doubt that their approach is flawed. Steeped in Stoic philosophy, this comeback reflects a higher perspective. You don't need to stoop to their level because life will humble them eventually. The video's final thought resonates here. Those who act superior through rudeness are setting themselves up for a fall. When you deliver this line and walk away, they're stuck facing an uncomfortable truth. Their attitude, not your reaction, is the real problem. They'll regret their disrespect when they see it's cost them more than they ever gained. 5. This conversation was over before it even started. In the YouTube video, if a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy. The comeback, this conversation was over before it even started, emerges as a verbal checkmate, steeped in Stoic detachment. It's not just a dismissal. It's a total erasure of the rude person's attempt to engage you, stripping them of their power before they can even gain traction. This line embodies the calm, unyielding strength of refusing to step into the ring with someone who thrives on conflict. The brilliance of this response lies in its finality. Rude people feed on reactions. Pushing buttons, sparking arguments, and dragging you into their chaos is how they assert control. The video shares a telling example. A co-worker, Jake, known for negativity, smirked during a meeting and interrupted the creator's project suggestion with, "Yeah, or we could just do it the right way." Expecting a defense, Jake was ready to pounce. Instead, the creator replied, "This conversation was over before it even started," and turned back to his work. The room went quiet, Jake faltered, and his provocation fizzled. From then on, he never tried it again. Why? Because this line didn't just end the exchange, it made it irrelevant. What makes it so potent? It denies the rude person the fight they're itching for. They want you on the battlefield, trading blows, but you're not even there. You've already left them swinging at air. The video explains that disrespect thrives on your energy. By saying this, you show their words don't register enough to warrant a response. It's the ultimate power move. They're insignificant, and you're untouchable. Imagine a bully expecting pushback, only to watch their target walk away unfazed. That's the effect. Jake thought he'd dominate, but he ended up looking foolish, his smugness deflated by indifference. The video suggests using this in multiple scenarios. When someone baits you into an argument, a coworker drips passive-aggressive venom, a family member stirs unnecessary drama, or a stranger hurls an unprovoked insult. Picture a friend sniping. That's a dumb idea, hoping to rile you up. A cool, this conversation was over before it even started, shuts it down. They're left with nothing to grab onto. It's not about winning a debate. It's about refusing to play, preserving your peace while they flounder. Rooted in Stoic wisdom, this comeback reflects a core truth. Not every insult deserves your attention. The video's final thought. Rude people win when they steal your energy, but lose when you show how little they matter, shines here. When you drop this line and move on, they're stunned, realizing their effort was wasted. They'll regret trying to provoke you, not because you fought back, but because you didn't bother. It's a quiet triumph, proving their disrespect can't touch your calm resolve. 6. Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately. The YouTube video, if a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy, unveils the comeback. Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately, as a deceptively polite yet razor-sharp weapon. Grounded in Stoic calm, this line doesn't just deflect rudeness. It obliterates its impact, leaving the aggressor stunned and their words reduced to meaningless static. It's a masterful blend of courtesy and dismissal that keeps you in control while they scramble for footing. This response excels because it subverts expectations. Rude people aim to rattle you, expecting their jabs to linger in your mind, feeding their need for dominance. The video highlights its power in action. Imagine a coworker in a meeting smirking. That's an interesting take, but let's leave the serious stuff to the experts. Instead of bristling, you reply, "Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately and carry on. The casual tone masks a brutal truth. They've wasted their breath, and you're not giving their words a second thought. It's not confrontation, it's erasure. And that's what makes them squirm. Why does it hit so hard? It turns their attack into a non-event. The video explains that disrespect often comes from those who talk just to hear themselves, offering nothing of value. By thanking them, then promising to forget, you acknowledge their effort only to trash it instantly. It's a psychological gut punch. They want their words to stick, to provoke or wound, but you've already flushed them from your system. The creator notes how this preserves your energy. Why waste it on drama when you can dismiss it and move forward? In a real-life twist, a family member once sniped. Still chasing that dream, huh? A breezy, "Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it," immediately shifted the vibe. They felt the sting of their irrelevance. The video recommends this for various encounters: a coworker's constant critiques, a relative's snide remarks, or an online troll's cheap shots. Picture a stranger sneering, "Nice try, but that's pathetic." A laid-back, "Thanks for your input. I'll forget it in about 3 seconds," lands like a velvet hammer. The more nonchalant, the more it burns. It's not about fighting back. It's about showing their words don't even register on your radar. Steeped in Stoic philosophy, this comeback reflects a deeper truth. Your peace is yours to guard, not theirs to disrupt. The video underscores that rude people bank on emotional reactions. When you deny them that, their system collapses. They'll regret their attempt when they see you've brushed them off without a flicker of effort. "Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately," isn't just a line. It's a shield and a sword, letting you walk away unscathed while they're left with the hollow echo of their own futility. 7. You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself. In the YouTube video, if a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret. It's Stoic philosophy. The comeback, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," shines as a brilliantly subtle yet scathing retort. Infused with Stoic composure, this line doesn't just deflect rudeness. It turns the spotlight back on the aggressor, exposing their absurdity without breaking your calm. It's a masterclass in flipping the script, leaving them to stew in the mess of their own creation. This response works because it shifts the narrative. Rude people often think they're clever, using disrespect to assert dominance or provoke a reaction. The video brings this to life with a scenario. A coworker interrupts a meeting, rolling their eyes and snarking your idea. A cool, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," delivered with a slight smirk, stops them cold. It's not an insult, it's an observation, and that's what makes it sting. They expected you to get defensive or upset, but instead, you've painted them as the clown, forcing a moment of self-awareness they can't easily dodge. Why is it so effective? It plants a seed of doubt. The video explains that these types thrive on drama, believing their jabs make them look sharp. But this line flips that illusion. Suddenly, they're the one under scrutiny. If others are around, it amplifies the effect. People notice the fool, not you. The creator recalls a friend tossing a passive-aggressive dig. "Wow, you actually did something right for once." A dry, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," silenced them. Their smugness replaced by awkwardness. They either back off or dig deeper, proving your point. Either way, you've won. The video suggests wielding this in varied situations. A co-worker's snarky interruptions, a family member's veiled insults, or a troll's online nonsense. Imagine a stranger mocking you in public. "Nice effort, loser." A relaxed, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself. Keep up the hard work," leaves them exposed, their bravado crumbling. It's not about anger, it's about calm control, redirecting attention to their folly while you stay above the fray. Rooted in Stoic wisdom, this comeback reveals a truth. Rude people don't see their own ridiculousness until it's pointed out. The video notes they think they're winning, but they're just embarrassing themselves, and everyone sees it. When you say this and move on, you're not just shutting them down. You're giving them a mirror they can't unsee. They'll regret their disrespect when they realize they've played themselves, not you. "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," isn't just a line, it's a quiet power move, letting their ego unravel while you walk away, unscathed and unshaken. Stoic philosophy. The YouTube video, "If a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy," anchors its lessons in Stoic philosophy, a timeless framework for navigating life's challenges with calm and clarity. At its core, Stoicism teaches that we can't control others, only our reactions. When faced with rudeness, the video argues, losing your temper hands victory to the aggressor. Instead, true strength lies in mastering your emotions and responding with deliberate, unflappable wisdom, turning disrespect into an opportunity to rise above. This philosophy shines through the video's 7 comebacks, each a practical application of Stoic principles. "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it," reflects the Stoic refusal to let external judgments dictate inner peace. "I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect," embodies the choice to disengage from pointless conflict, preserving energy for what matters. The creator's anecdotes, like dismissing a friend's mockery with calm indifference, illustrate how Stoicism transforms provocation into irrelevance. As he notes, "A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep," echoing the Stoic focus on self-sovereignty. Stoicism isn't about suppression, it's about perspective. Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life. Aligns with the belief that virtues like respect and reason, not arrogance, lead to a good life. Lines like "This conversation was over before it even started," and "Thanks for your input, I'll be sure to forget it immediately," showcase the Stoic art of detachment. Why waste effort on what you can't change? "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," subtly shifts focus, letting the rude expose their own flaws. Ultimately, the video's Stoic message is empowerment. Don't let rudeness shake you. By staying composed and responding with wit, you reclaim control, leaving the disrespectful to regret their futility while you stand unshaken. Conclusion: don't let rudeness control you, master it. That's the electrifying takeaway from "If a rude person disrespects you, say this to make them regret its Stoic philosophy." Armed with 7 razor-sharp comebacks, from "You're entitled to your opinion," and "I'm entitled to ignore it," to "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," this video doesn't just teach you how to handle disrespect, it crowns you the victor. Rooted in Stoic philosophy, each line is a subtle yet devastating counterpunch, keeping you calm, powerful, and leaving the rude regretting they ever spoke. This isn't about trading insults, it's the art of rising above, holding your peace while they unravel in their own defeat. Picture it: a coworker mocks your idea, a relative sneers at your dreams, and you, with a slight smile, silence them with unshakable cool. This video isn't just tips, it's a lifestyle, a reminder you don't owe anyone your justification. A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep, and you're that lion. Loved these mind-blowing insights? Hit that subscribe button now to catch more Stoic wisdom that'll empower you to conquer life's challenges. Don't hoard this gold. Share the video with friends, colleagues, or anyone needing a mental edge against rudeness. Together, let's turn disrespect into a stage for our brilliance.